DoI Minister Tim Crookall. Hello.
Hello, Sam.
How are you finding being back in CoMin?
Enjoying it. It's hard work, but it's supposed to be. It's a busy job, especially the DOI portfolio. But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
We actually have taken over the department, which has probably been more in the spotlight than any other, with possible exception of health in the past few years. So one of the big things which you've sort of inherited has been this issue between the OFT, the taxi drivers, ConnectPorts, Connect Villages. Obviously, this report has come out, which has in effect cleared the Connect Villages side of things and said, from a purely marketing from commercial point of view, that's fine. There's a bit of an issue with ConnectPorts though, and what's going on with patient transfers. What is it that you've read into that?
From the DOI point of view, I suppose they've been trying to fill the seats and make the best use of the service that's been provided. Obviously, it's upset other people vis-a-vis the taxi drivers. What I'd like to do in the future, obviously, as I say, I'm still fairly new in the post, but now we've had the report back. Taxi drivers are not going to be happy with this system, what they've come back with, but I'd like to sit down with them at some stage in the very near future and see if we can find a way to work around this. And I'll take on board their comments. Obviously, the DOI have got this system which they're running at the moment, but see if we can find a way to sort of resolve and allay some of their fears and bring them closer together, because there is an atmosphere between the two, the department and the taxi drivers. And going back years, I think I had a good relationship with taxi drivers a few years ago, so hopefully we can rekindle that and work together.
And just in terms of again, Connect Villages has been, in effect, the OFT said that's not a problem with what's going on there. But how do you view the system that's across the North of the Land? Because there was talk about that being moved into the West as well at one point in the previous administration. That was something that was met with a bit of concern around places like Glen May, which is another area that falls into your constituency.
Mm-hmm.
How are you able to balance up the thing of Minister and MHK in terms of that?
Again, I'd like to talk to the taxi drivers. I was at a public meeting in Foxdale a few months ago, and there's some taxi drivers there because this came up at that meeting, and we know it's likely to affect either the taxi drivers in the West or if it goes south or whatever. So before it gets any worse and the atmosphere gets worse between the two groups, I'd like to try and find a way of resolving any issues if it's going to happen anywhere else in the future. Because at the end of the day, we're all working for the public. And so we need to find a way that everybody gets the best service.
Just on bus service, obviously there's talk about the summer timetable for 2022 has come up, and you previously said you'd be looking to do a review ahead of 2023. When are we likely to see that start, and what is it that you want to have a review of essentially?
I would like to review the whole of the bus service, where we, obviously we serve the customers in most of the places, but there are still some in the outlying places that have lost services over the last few years, and that will be because nobody uses it or very few use it, and budgets have been cut, so adjustments have had to be made. But we're going down the road of climate change and trying to get as many people on public transport as possible, or finding other ways for them to get to work. So it's a case of working together with everybody and trying to provide a better service. And even if it's only 2 or 3 days a week, if they had none before, then it's better. And we can work with everybody if possible. It won't suit everybody, but what I'd like to do, as I say, over this next year is do that review, and then ready for 2023, try and improve the service to everybody, and we'll look at the fare system structure as well.
Just since you mentioned climate change, just to finish there then, obviously the element of greener buses was a big part of the last administration. There was debate around that almost constantly for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a thing about the island's terrain wasn't suitable for electric buses for some reason. And what have you been able to pick up moving forward that you'd like to see brought out with this instead?
I had a good discussion with the director of buses yesterday, Mr. Longworth, and we were discussing electric buses. We've got a couple of hybrid buses on the island at the moment, and they seem to work quite well. Having spoken to the bus companies across and talked about our terrain and what we've got here, probably what's on the market at the moment may well not suit us at the moment, but they reckon the next models of electric buses will be better suited to the island. Many buses and things might work better on hopper buses and things, so that's something we're going to consider. But again, it all comes down to budget, and basically any electric vehicle is going to be twice the price of a standard diesel bus, and certainly dearer than hybrids. But we're looking at everything